Good day, fashion friends. Today we are going to take these jeans that I saw on Pinterest that are a crazy $1,600, and I'm going to take these thrifted black denim Ralph Lauren jeans and we're going to do it ourselves. Stick with me, stay tuned, and let's get to sewing and stitching and cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this image of the jeans laying flat, and I'm going to take two different colors of tailor's chalk, and I'm going to mark the lines that I'm going to cut out in one color, and then mark the lines that I'm not going to cut out that will get the sequin embellishments in another color, so that I know where I'm cutting and where I'm not cutting. Now, I initially thought that it was just cut evenly, which I could probably do, but I also noticed that in between the gaps, to stabilize the denim so it doesn't fall, because these are a wide leg pant, these are more of a straight leg, but they're still not form-fitting, that there is a mesh material in between. I may have some on hand. I will have to check. I'm going to try to not buy some if at all possible, so if I have a prom dress, I'm going to repurpose the prom dress. The other option is if I have to purchase something, and to make it easier, because otherwise I have to sew all that mesh on the inside of the leg, and I'm not quite sure how to do that right yet. But what I'm thinking I could do is buy the clear, I can't think of what those are, but it's the clear straps that would be like on the bra, or like the hanging straps for clothing that you can, attach it to the hanger so it doesn't slide off. I can't remember what those are called, but you know what I'm talking about. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to mimic this pattern as much as I possibly can. Okay, I have my pattern laid out, and as I was doing that, I got to thinking what I think I'm going to do, because this is a double seam on this side, so this is pretty rigid. I think I'm going to leave this side seam. That way I won't, if I decide to do the back, then I won't have to reinforce this. It won't be completely cut out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut out my white spots. And I think I'm going to add one more little spot like right there, because I got kind of a gap there. But I'm going to leave the side seam, so I may not have to reinforce it. And by also doing that, if I only decide to do just the front and not the back, then I will still save the structural integrity of the jeans. So that's what I'm going to do. A little trick that I found to make this easier to cut these out instead of flipping and flopping the jeans all around and worrying about cutting on the back, I have this cutting board that I literally purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I keep this on hand for when I'm trying to cut stuff on my table. I don't want to cut up my table. So what I did was, when I started cutting this, I just slipped this into the pant leg, and then as I go up the pant leg, I make sure my cutting board is behind, and you will see how much easier it is to cut. Now you can still flip and flop the jeans around, but what you're gonna have is something solid to cut on, because even if you were on a table, you would still be paranoid about cutting the other side. And it keeps the material nice, and it keeps it straighter, definitely, as you go to cut out the zebra stripes. And I'm going to save these because I will probably attach these to a denim purse. How cool would that be? Get some white denim and have a purse, and then put these black denim zebra stripes. So repurpose everything. Save almost all of the denim scraps, and they can be reused for something else. Okay, here's what they look like with all the cuts. I don't think I want to come up here any further because some people aren't comfortable with that, so I'm just going to leave it. And then a little pro tip when you're working with tailor's chalk is, if you don't like the line that you have drawn, I always keep a spray bottle of alcohol in my craft room. And these are my washcloths. I use them for painting, cleaning, anything that I need to do. And you can put a little spritz of alcohol on the washcloth and wipe away your chalk line so you can redraw it and you won't get confused when you're looking at your lines and you have lines drawn all over the place. So some alcohol with the tailor's chalk wipes right off and then you can redraw your line. So, little tip for you. So now I'm going to attempt to start stitching, and I don't want this to fray, but I don't want to go through and put fray check on it. Also, I do not have the silver sequins that the original pants have on, and I'm trying to use what I have on hand, but I do have this faux rhinestone ribbon that you can cut, and it's plastic and it looks like rhinestones, but they're actually concave and faceted, so it gives the rhinestone effect. I have what is called a bead sewing presser foot. So it has a little groove right here that the beads go through. So there's nothing that holds them in place, so you have to be very careful. You have to hold them in place yourself. I did a practice one because I've never used it, and then you'll use a zigzag stitch. So it will zigzag back and forth across the beads or any three-dimensional trim that you're trying to sew. And I have an example that I practice with because I'd never used it before. Here's what it looks like on a scrap piece of denim. Now it recommends using monofilament, but I'm just going to use black thread because I don't want to deal with monofilament because it can be a pain in the butt because you can't see it. But I think it will be fine even using the black thread. If anybody gets that close looking at your stuff, then you just need to kick them. That's just my opinion. After about 6 hours of stitching, I got them finished. I only did the front. I decided not to do the back. And I did decide to go ahead and embellish up to these pockets. I felt that it just kind of stopped. So I just felt that I did that in order to give it a more finished look. I just didn't do any cutouts up that high. So I really, really like the result. I did post this on a Facebook group, and a lot of people said that they liked this version better than the $1,600 version. These would be awesome to wear even like in the wintertime. You could wear some fleece lined leggings underneath of it. So again, I really like the result. I think these are super, super cool, and these are available. Thank you for watching today. I hope you learned a little something new. I do feel that this is a more intermediate to slightly advanced technique. I'm always trying to up my game. I'm always trying to learn new things, learn new sewing techniques. I don't always find a tutorial for it, so that's why I'm making these tutorials for people that maybe have the same ideas that I do and they're not sure how to go about it. This is something that I've never done before. I've never sewn trim on like this. I've never done a cutout, well, not never. I did the cutout heart jacket a while back that still has not sold, but it is a showstopper and a lot of people absolutely love it. So here we go. Here is a slightly advanced sewing technique. Now, if you're making these for yourself, you are more than welcome to use fabric glue or hot glue if that would be easier for you. But just know that there's special care that would need to be taken with something like that, especially with fabric glue. Sometimes it's water soluble. Check your label. Hot glue would be okay. And then if anything comes apart, you would be able to repair it yourself. When I'm doing upcycles, I tend to sew things because I don't want my items falling apart if somebody purchases them and then they come back and I have a reputation for low quality. If you're using glue of any sort, you definitely would not want to put them in the dryer on a high heat. That would definitely be dangerous. So that's why I tend to sew everything. So hope you learned something. Don't forget to comment below what you think. Let me know if you would try something like this by using my tutorial. And don't forget to subscribe and check out all of my other videos. And as always, love, peace, and thrift, and we'll catch you on the flip side.